Are on a mission in Exeter to rid the streets of cigarette butts. Although fewer people smoke cigarettes these days, fag ends flung on the floor can do more harm than you think. Well, Daisy and Jack have already collected more than 3,000, but they have plans for even more litter picks this year. Our reporter Lucy Wilson went to meet them.
Small and unsightly, most people turn a blind eye to cigarette butts. But have you ever stopped to think about how much damage they can cause our planet?
Those over there.
It's what inspired these two teenagers to act.
18 billion cigarettes are produced a day, and only a third of them end up in a bin. And the rest of them take 10 years to decompose, and throughout the 10 years they release toxins into the water systems through the drains. And like when they're left in plants and stuff, they just kill the plants.
15-year-old Jack and 16-year-old Daisy have spent the past month collecting cigarette butts from across Exeter using council-owned litter-picking equipment. They're hoping people might see them cleaning up the litter and donate some money towards their school expedition to Costa Rica next year.
Jack more came up with the idea of doing a litter kind of pickup and then kind of narrowing it down to cigarette butts because they're so awful for the environment, but they don't really have as much awareness around them as maybe like plastic straws do.
It's estimated that 2/3 of the trillions of cigarette butts used each year are tossed into the environment.
We've been down on beach cleans as well. This is a little bit less glamorous, but it's just as important. In fact, it gets a whole load of things before it gets into the water to get down to the beach. So in some ways, it's actually a neglected area. So if it means that they're doing this and a few other people get the idea and they start doing it as well, then that would be fantastic.
Daisy and Jack have already collected more than 3,000 cigarette butts, but still have more litter picks planned. Lucy Wilson, BBC Spotlight, Exeter.
Well, Alison Ogden-Newton is the Chief Executive of the charity Keep Britain Tidy. Alison, what's your message to smokers?
At Keep Britain Tidy, we have a campaign called Bin the Butt, and it's about raising awareness so that smokers understand that by flicking their butts onto the pavement, into the street, down drains, they are in effect flicking things that are made of mostly plastic and toxic chemicals, which are finding their way into the natural world and causing a tremendous amount of environmental damage.
How successful is that campaign? I know Bin the Butt started in 2005 or face a fine of £75. How effective has it been?
Well, to be honest with you, we still have a long way to go. Most smokers tell us that they commonly, I'm afraid, do throw their cigarette butts down on the ground. And because they're so small, they don't think that that's as much of a problem, say, as food packaging. But the truth of the matter is there are nearly 4,000 chemicals, harmful chemicals in a cigarette butt. And they're made of plastic, which will only degenerate into microplastics. So they're incredibly small but toxic, and we are seeing tens of millions of them being littered on a daily basis.
And here's a tricky one as well. It's a little bit like spotting somebody whose dog poos and they don't pick it up. If you spot somebody smoking and they throw their butt down on the floor, do you tackle them? What's the message to people?
Well, at Keep Britain Tidy, we don't advise people to tackle the public, but I have to say that I do, and you probably wouldn't be surprised to hear that. People are very... Yeah, they really don't understand. For instance, a lot of people think that putting it down the drain is the right thing to do. You're literally posting it into the watercourse, so that is going to find its way into rivers and ultimately potentially to our beaches and into our seas. So it really is absolutely the wrong thing to do, and once people know that, we really hope that they change their behaviour and help us find that bin.
Alison Ogden-Newton, thank you.
Right, it's time for the